This is a tour of the underground bases of Presidio National Park. Here we are in Mountain Lake Park, part of the Presidio. And this is the campsite of Juan Bautista de Enza, Spanish explorer, March 27, 1776. The first overland party to come and explore the tip of the Presidio. And the reason why this is such an important site is because right here is a large body of water called Mountain Lake. It's one of the 3 natural lakes in San Francisco that remain. This is spring-fed, and it would have provided the soldiers of the exploration party, but also future expansion as a base, a vital water supply. See right up there is the hospital, which are now condos. This is now a converted national park for an old army base. There's more to the story than a lake and a water source and an army base to protect the Golden Gate and become the base of the Pacific Fleet. There is also an underground base here, which we're going to follow the trail system and explore. Some gridlock traffic going into the Douglas MacArthur Bridge. Tunnel there, which goes to the Golden Gate Bridge here in the Presidio. That, by the way, is Robb Hill, the tallest hill in the Presidio, and where Bunker City is. There I am, one of the approaches to the Douglas MacArthur Tunnel. Longest tunnel in the Presidio. Goes right under the golf course. Even the golf course has its tunnels. This is for the golf carts to come through. Right here in the Presidio golf course. And that sound you hear is coming from the exhaust tunnel of the Douglas MacArthur Tunnel, which cuts through the Presidio. This is an active work site right now, so I can't really get too much closer. Here's one of the 3 Nike missile silos, and the other one's just up there. But there's a couple people working, and I don't want to get too close. So suffice it to say, there are 2 here. It doesn't look like they're going to bury them, but hopefully restore them, because they are recreating the dune environment at this portion of the Presidio. And there's out looking over the city and Richmond, where I live. This is the best preserved of the 3 Nike missile silos. This long rectangular cavity is filled with water. I can't really go down in there. But this is up on a level where there appears to be a new cell tower or something about to go up. This is the harder one to find. But it was told to me by somebody I met in a bar in Half Moon Bay, and he said the telltale sign to know that this is a Nike missile silo is to find the hatch. And the hatch goes down into a now flooded area. But I poked my head down there once, and you can kind of see in a ways this whole big cavity that once contained a nuclear missile right here in San Francisco. If you were walking along this trail and taking in all these fantastic views, down there Baker Beach and Pacific Ocean, on the top of the ridge of Nob Hill, if you're just walking around up these trails, you might completely miss it. But there's an entranceway to a large part of Bunker City right here, which used to be an old Jeep trail that connects to these massive bunkers that we're going to go see real soon here. Here's where the Jeep trail came in. And here's one of the big supply ports for the large part of Bunker City. Everything you see in front of us is all artificial mounds on top of reinforced concrete. And this is the south side of what I call Bunker City. Most of the largest parts of Bunker City seem to be decrepit and decaying and unused. But some parts are being used. And you can see a car parked in there. Huh. What could be going on? Let's check it out. This is building 1430 Presidio Wine Bunker. And you can apply here to rent out a space in this portion of Bunker City, and you can keep your wine in here nice and cool. It's a type of facility where people can store their wine, and it's like a storage unit. Hi, just doing a quick video. Okay. Well, the guy said I couldn't go in, just to let me poke my head in, but he didn't want me filming. This is the other side of it. That's all the Presidio Wine Bunker, part of the massive complex called Bunker City, an underground fortress during times of war. We're on top of Bunker City, now looking down onto the north flank, where there are many other open bunkers. And this is a modern facility that they still use. We are on the side of the Robb Hill Campground, which is also the highest point in the Presidio. And right here on the north facing slope, this is all another side of Bunker City that is very much in use. Maybe not this pillbox here anymore, but they have modernized this, including putting in your passcode. And truck just came in and out of here, so it's very much in use. There are so many of these bunkers and outpost buildings and batteries here in the Presidio that they must number in the hundreds. And there are so many, you kind of lose notice of them after a while because, well, the views are just so amazing. There's out to Land's End. Out that way is Marin County and the Golden Gate Bridge. And this is a little one I've never even been to before. Let's go down and have a look. Kind of see in here. Just saw that there was a turret and lookout station, and yeah, here's probably where the guys slumbered down and had to live for a while. Maybe there's even a passageway there to another part of the underground city here at the Presidio. This is part of a complex called Battery Dynamite, which is quite large and extensive. It goes on for, boy, about a quarter mile. Some really amazing features. Again, these would be gun turrets for protecting the Golden Gate, reinforced concrete, station, clearly an underground bunker here, which would have connected to the larger portion of Battery Dynamite. And it's in my belief, and from people I've talked to, that they all interconnect. In fact, it was a worker here in Battery Dynamite about a year or two ago. I asked if he'd ever been down in the tunnels, and he said, yeah, they just go on and on. Shine a flashlight and you don't even see the end of them. There's Fort Winfield Scott, and right behind it on the north facing slope is the largest portion of Battery Dynamite. I've been back here before when the fence was open. As you can see, we can't get in there now, but look at the scale of these bunkers, and each one of them with several entry portals into this underground base. That facade is massive. That's about 3 or 4 stories tall, reinforced concrete, and it goes around this outpost building all the way around there. This is all hollow. This is all one massive bunker right in front of Fort Winfield Scott. The base within the base. the brains of Central Command of the Pacific Fleet. We're now in Fort Winfield Scott, which is considered a base within a base. There's the Golden Gate Bridge looking north out to the Marin Headlands and Tiburon. And these are the officers' offices where they all worked when the Presidio was the most important military base of the Pacific. And this is the building where the general worked, the highest ranking officer on the West Coast. And I asked another maintenance worker once if all of these buildings connected to tunnels to the underground bases, and he confirmed they do. Well, that's interesting. Looks like I was just on film doing this video with this motion detector, and it's a totally nondescript hillside, but if you look closely you will see those vines are covering a bunker, and there is a pillbox up top. You can just barely see it. Why is Battery Wagner so important? It looks like it's just a wilderness area with a motion detector. There's a beautiful bay, a little bit of Alcatraz looking north, and there's this little used road that comes up to what looks like a little used compound. It's called Battery Wagner, totally overgrown on all sides, but as we just saw, there's a lot of attention on this place because this is the entrance to Bunker City. And you can see it's still in use. This is where you check in. That's where you go through. It's got bunker lights, it's got bunker housing, and it connects to the larger complex. This is where I would suppose Nancy Pelosi and Dianne Feinstein would pull up in their limousines or guarded SUVs if the missiles were high up in the air. And there's even a pillbox for protection. And they live, by the way, just on the east side of the Presidio. This is another home to one of the supreme commanders of the Presidio. But of course, this is now a decommissioned base. So it's probably someone who works here for the national park. And this is now Golden Gate National Recreation Area, a huge park in San Francisco, California. Fort Winfield Scott housing area. Yeah, these are where all the officers lived. And it was confirmed to me that they all have connections in their basements to the underground Bunker City. That's the general's house. Here are some new tunnels, part of the Doyle Drive renovation. See, the Presidio has a bit of a pen shot for the underground. There's some more bunkers there. It's Golden Gate Bridge. Well, that concludes our tour of some of the features of the Presidio National Park within Golden Gate National Recreation Area. It should be noted that there are quite a few other bunkers and batteries all around the Bay Area, most especially towards the entrance of the Golden Gate Bridge, where it would have been so vital to protect. We just went through the middle of the Presidio, and the large green area you see, that's where Bunker City is. And Fort Winfield Scott just above that, the fort within a fort, and Battery Wagner just off to the right, you can see on this map. If you're in the Bay Area or in San Francisco, I highly encourage you to take a walk through the Presidio and check out these features for yourself.